Wait.
I call this meeting to order. Please rise for the flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law
Thank you.
by posting a notice of this meeting on the bulletin board in the municipal building and by publication in the Press of Atlantic City on January the 5th, 2018, and the Atlantic County Record on January the 10th, 2018. Assemblyman Vince Mazzio will now swear in Rodney Gashard as Township Committee member.
Yeah.
Want to do it from here?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year.
Oh, left hand. Okay, sorry. Yeah, sure.
Okay, repeat after me. I, Rodney Gashard,
I, Rodney Gashard,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform all the duties
and justly perform all the duties
of the office of Township Committee Member
of the office of Township Committee Member
of the Township of Hamilton
of the Township of Hamilton
for the term of January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2021.
for the term of January 1st, 2019 through December 31st of 2021.
That's a hard one for me.
Yeah. It's a mouthful.
According to the best of my ability,
According to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Committee.
Thank you. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
If you don't mind my saying how happy I am to be here, and I really appreciate those claps, and I certainly appreciate all the support I've gotten from many people in Mays Landing. I've gotten a new perspective on life, which I think will help me understand many of the people that we support, that we represent. Thanks for coming out, and I look forward to working with you. Okay.
Senator Chris Brown will now swear in Art Schenker as Township Committee member.
Art, you're coming up and your family. I want to wish everyone a happy, healthy New Year. I want to congratulate Rodney and his beautiful family on your success and wish you nothing but a speedy recovery.
Thank you.
And know that there are a lot of people who care about you and love you. You know, when one of the great things that is nice about being your senator is I get to go to municipalities such as Hamilton Township, and I get to take part in events where we thank and swear in such great public servants. And one of the measures that they say at the end of your life when you try to figure out Was it worthwhile, and did you do anything that was noteworthy? And it's that willingness to public service. It's that ability to give more, go farther, and work harder for others that separates all of the people who are up here. It's an honor for me and a privilege for me to be able to be part of this with Arthur and his beautiful family. So without further ado, if you're ready.
By the way, the year they swore me in,
Raise your hand.
I had my right hand on the
I,
Bible.
Arthur Shanker, do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the
You're forgiven.
Constitution
that I'll support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments
and to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
And we further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of
of the office of
Township Committee Member
Township Committee Member
of the Township of Hamilton
of the Township of Hamilton
for the term
for the term
January 1, 2019
January 1, 2019
through December 31, 2021,
through December 31, 2021,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you all for being here, and I am too glad to see Rodney here. I've been through something similar to what you went through, and you do have a different perspective on life when you come out on the other side. It reaffirms what we're doing here, reaffirms what we do to help people, to help others, and I'm looking forward to the next 3 years. I just want to point out that the senator did say that I was great, honey, okay? Missed that part? Right, that's okay, yeah. Thank you, you've done enough. I just want to thank my wife for putting up with all this, this stuff, the long phone calls, and sometimes when we're out and the phone rings and I have to answer it, and she's very good about that, and that's a special quality, so thank you, sweetheart.
We'll now have our roll call of attendance. Mr. Gishard,
Present.
Mr. Kurtz,
Present.
Mrs. Link,
Here.
Mr. Schenker,
Here.
Mr. Silva.
Here,
If we may now have a moment of silence for private reflection, and please remember our former mayor, Bill Mangles, who passed away recently. Thank you. Okay. I call now for nominations for the permanent chairperson, also known as mayor, for the year 2019.
I nominate Art Shanker.
I second it.
Are there any other nominations? Is there a motion to close nomination?
Motion to close.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to close nominations. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? I call now for the vote for the appointment of Art Schenker as permanent chairperson for the year 2019. Mr. Gishard,
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz,
Yes.
Mrs. Link,
Yes.
Mr. Schenker,
Yes.
Mr. Silva.
Yes.
All yes and carried.
When I first sat down, I said, where's my gavel at? What happened? Who took it? Thank you very much, and I'll do my best to serve the township well, as I did try my best last year. So we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of things to get done. This is a great township, and I want to see it be even better. So thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for your support. I'd like to see every month if it's possible, but I know that's not going to happen. So thank you. Where are we at here?
Item 2.
Item 2, selection of permanent deputy chairperson, deputy mayor for the year 2019. We have
I'll make a
nominations? Go ahead,
ahead.
John.
I'll make a motion to appoint Roger Silva, Deputy Chairperson.
You have any other nominations? I call for a motion to close nominations.
Motion closed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close nominations. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 We have a motion to carry the nomination for deputy mayor. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Appointments for the professionals for the year of 2019 are until successor is appointed. A, Township Solicitor.
I'll make a motion to appoint Robert Sandman of the firm Hankman, Sandman, and Palladino Firm.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any other nominations? No? Okay. Can we have a roll call vote, please, Rita?
Yes. Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
B, Alternate Conflict Solicitor.
I nominate Randy Lafferty of Cooper and Levinson.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
C, Labor Council.
I nominate Cooper Levinson, Russell Lichtenstein.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, Rita?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
D, Bond Council.
I will make a motion to appoint Joel Fleischman from the Fleischman Daniels Law Firm.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
Yes and carried.
E, Township Municipal Court Prosecutor.
Nominate Carl Tripperson.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
F, Township Municipal Court Public Defender.
I'll make a motion to appoint Frank J. Lentz.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
G, Risk Management Consultant.
I make a motion to have Hardenberg Insurance Company.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second for Hardenberg Insurance Company.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
No.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
No.
Mayor Shanker?
No.
3 yes. I'm sorry. 2 yes, 3 no. Motion's defeated.
I'll nominate Glenn Insurance.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second for Glenn Insurance. Can we have a roll call vote, please, Rita?
Mr. Gishard?
No.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
No.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
3 yes, 2 no. Motion carries.
H, Township Auditor.
I'll make a motion to select Leon Costello from the Ford Scott Firm.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
I, Township Engineer.
I nominate Steve Philippone.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for Township Engineer. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carry.
Alternate Township Engineer.
I nominate Kevin Dixon from Dixon Associates.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carry.
K, Traffic Engineer.
Nominate Kevin Dixon.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
L, Alternate Traffic Engineer.
I'll make a motion to appoint that as needed.
I'll second that.
We have a motion to hire as needed for Alternate Traffic Engineer. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carry.
M, Township Architect.
I would recommend at this time that we re-advertise for that.
I'll second that.
We have a motion to re-advertise for Township Architect. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
I have another nomination. I nominate Design
collaborative,
Collaborative.
Well,
We have a,
there's already the first motion.
yeah, let's,
Yeah, okay.
You want me to call on the first motion?
roll call on the first motion, please.
First motion, which is to re-advertise. Mr. Gishard?
No.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
no,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
3 yes, 2 no. Motion carries.
N, Certified New Jersey General Appraiser.
I'll make a motion to appoint Sockler Realty Services.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carry.
Number 4, authorize administrator prepare formal and fair and open professional services contracts for all appointees for 2019 or until successor is appointed, and authorize the mayor of the town and the township clerk to execute the same.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
second,
A motion and a second. Rita, do we need a roll call for that? All those, yes, thank you. I was looking for you.
Come up.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Sorry you're out of order.
That's all
I'll
right.
get it next
Quite all
time.
right. We're forgiving you.
One a meeting, that's it.
Bob threw me off.
Number 5, appointment to township physicians of the year 2019 or until successor is appointed to be compensated or services as rendered basis. A, Atlantic Care Occupational Health Services. B, Sure Urgent Care. C, Atlantic Investigations.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Rita, why don't we just do a roll call?
All right. Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Zoning Board, number 6, Zoning Board of Adjustments, appointments. These are Township Committee appointments. Member, 4-year term expires 12/31/22.
I'll make a motion to appoint John Sachinelli to fill that term.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second for John Sachinelli. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Member, 4-year term to expire 12/31/22, Bob Carmen. Oh, excuse me.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Alternate 1, 2-year term to expire 12/31/20.
I'll nominate Bruce Dry.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
All yes and carry.
7, Historic Preservation Commission appointments, Township Committee appoints. Class C member, 4-year term, expires 12/31/22.
I nominate Roberta Bonney.
second.
Bonney.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
All yes and carry.
Class C member, 4-year term, expires 12/31/22.
I'll make a motion to appoint Heather Tomasello.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
All yes and carry.
We have one other alternate 2-year term, expires 12/31/20.
I recommend we leave it vacant, Mayor, until we review the list again and see if there's any others are re-advertised to ask anyone interested in serving.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Okay. Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
All yes and carry.
Number 8, Industrial Commission appointment, Township Committee appoints. Member, 5-year term, expires 12/31/23.
I'll make a
I
motion.
make a motion to nominate F. Gordon Craig.
second,
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
No.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
No.
Mayor Shanker.
No.
3 no, 2 yes. Motion is defeated.
I nominate Dr. Mukesh Roy for
I'll
that.
second it.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
No.
Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
no,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
3 yes, 2 no. Motion carries.
Member, 5-year term, expires 12/31/23.
I motion for Irene E. Hutchins Newman.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Rita?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
All yes and carry.
Member, unexpired term, 5-year term, expires 12/31/21.
I nominate Gordon Craig.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Number 9, Planning Board appointments. Class 3 committee appointment. All others appointed by mayor. First one is a Class 1 mayor designee. Is 1-year term, expires 12/31/19. I would like to place Marietta Borkowski in that position. Class 2 township official. 1-year term to expire 12/31/19. John?
I'll make a motion to appoint Alan Wormsdorf.
I'll second it.
You have a motion and second. Rita?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Class 3 Township Committee, 1-year term to expire 12/31/19. We are going, John Kurtz will serve in that spot. We don't need a motion or anything for that.
is that Township
The
Committee?
Class 3 is the one that you need to vote on.
Okay. I need a motion for that,
Make
please.
that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Rita?
And that was for John Kurtz,
John
correct?
Kurtz, please,
Yes.
thank you.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Alternate 1, 2-year term to expire 12/31/20.
Make a motion to appoint Jack Percy.
I'll second it.
Okay. A motion and a second. Rita?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
All yes and carry.
Number 10, Veterans Advisory Board, Township Committee appoints member, 3-year term to expire 12/31/21.
I'd like to move to appoint Mukesh Roy.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Member, 3-year term to expire 12/31/21.
I'll make a
Move
motion
to
to
appoint
appoint
Lou
Lou
Green.
Green.
Boy, we all agree.
Whoa.
Yes.
Boy, that's unusual.
Unanimous.
That.
I heard,
You're getting better all the
I
time.
heard John Kurtz. I don't know who that is. John Kurtz made the motion.
They already voted.
Second.
And Judy
We have a motion and a second for Lou Green, just for those of
Okay.
you who didn't hear. We have a roll call vote, please, Rita.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Alternate 3-year term to expire 12/31/21.
Nominate Robert Hagel.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
Who was that?
Robert Hagel, Bob Hagel.
Bob Hagel.
Rita, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. 1 second. Mr. Gishard?
I'm not familiar with the gentleman, so I have to say no.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
No.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
3 yes, 2 no, motion carries.
Alternate 3-year term to expire 12/31/21.
I'll
I
motion to
motion
appoint
for
Jerry
Bob
Nelson.
Campbell.
I'll second it.
You're seconding which?
Kurtz.
Okay. We have a motion and a second for Jerry Nelson.
Wasn't that, wasn't that nomination by Rodney?
Oh, I guess he was first. He got it in first, so.
We have a roll call vote, please.
Yes. Mr. Gishard?
No.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
No.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
It's 3 yes, 2 no, motion carries.
One comment, it's a race to the very, to say that the nomination. I would think that there would be some accommodation for Rodney.
Or at least consider the second nomination, which we didn't do.
If the first one carries, why would we do the second?
Well,
11, Hamilton Township Municipal Utilities Authority Township Committee appoints member, 5-year term, February 1st, 19 to February 1st, 24.
Make a motion to appoint Luke McFarland.
I'll second it.
Lou McFarland?
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
No. I don't know the person at all, and, I know there's a little bit of a blurb here for him, but no.
Let's call an application.
Yeah, the application.
Okay.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker.
Yes,
That's 4 yes, 1 no, motion carries.
thank you. Alternate 1, unexpired term, 5-year term to expire 2/1/22.
I nominate Janet Nichols.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
No.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
4 yes, 1 no, motion carries.
Alternate 2, unexpired term, 5-year term to expire 2/1/23.
I'll make a motion to leave that vacant, Mr. Mayor, and appoint at a later date.
Need a second?
I'll second that.
You have a motion and a second to leave it vacant. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
All yes and carried.
If there's no objection, we can move past the Property Maintenance Code Appeals Board until we have time to look at this closer? We don't have anything before us at this time. Is that all right?
It's all right with me.
I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it.
Don, Judy?
Yes.
Yes.
The next one is the Lake Lenape Dam Advisory Board. With no objection, I'd like to do these all at one time. They're just reappointments. Does anyone object?
No.
No.
Accept the motion to take all of the current members and extend their terms.
Yes.
Second.
A motion is second. Rita, could you give me a roll call vote, please? Thank you.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Number 14, move on to the Green Team. I would like to do the
May
same.
I interject here for a minute?
Sure.
The one that I said I didn't know, I did not have any application here. Where is the application for him? Lou McFarland.
I believe I have it here.
I can speak to that, Judy. He submitted 2 days after the deadline. It was put in your bin separately, and then I sent an email.
Well,
He was
yeah,
after,
I didn't see it in my papers.
yeah.
He did submit
Yeah, but it wasn't in the blue folder with everyone else because he submitted either 1 or 2 days, I think 2 days
Yeah, well,
late.
that's what I was looking at, the blue folder.
Yeah, it came in separately after you'd already picked up your blue folder. But it was distributed.
Okay.
And he does have it, and you can see it right now if you'd like.
Where is it?
I have my copy here. John, you have one there?
I think I do, but I'd have to find it real quick.
Here it is. You wouldn't mind passing this down.
There you go.
That's the original.
All right, 14, Green Team, Township Committee appoints. With no objection, I'd like to do the same and group them all together.
Fine.
There's no
Second.
objection.
I'll make
I
that
have no
motion.
objection.
I'll second.
We have a motion and second to pass forward the Green Team to another term. Rita, we have a roll call vote, please.
Yes, Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Citizens Advisory Committee, Township Committee appoints. We can do, well, we have a couple.
Well, you won't get one in from Woods Landing till later
Yeah.
this week. They didn't have a meeting and they're for the representative. And there's another vacant on the citizen representative, so
Okay.
if we didn't get anybody yet, so
We can vote on the ones that are there.
that's right.
Yes, so is everyone all right voting on put the ones together and then just leave the 2 vacants until we can fill them at a later date?
I'm fine with
Yes.
that.
Any objection?
That's okay.
I need a motion and a second, please.
I move to consider the names that are there.
So
Okay.
moved.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Rita, could you give me a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
16, Great Egg Harbor National Scenic and Recreation River Council. Again, I want to do these as a group if there's no objection.
No
I make a
objection.
move, we accept both of them.
A motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second it.
We have a second. Rita, I'm sorry, please.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
I didn't hear.
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Schenker?
Yes,
All yes and carried.
thank you. Emergency Management Coordinator. The coordinator appointed all the people listed, and I confirm their appointments. Local Emergency Planning Committee. I'm going to appoint all the people on this list, and it's basically by their title. So we move on to 19. Also a mayor's appointment. They're all listed by title, with the exception of the residents Henry Dorsey and Jack Percy, who will have another term for this year. Number 20, I want to announce the 2019 department chairpersons and deputy chairpersons. Administration and Finance, which includes personnel, insurance, audit, purchasing, tax assessment, tax collection, Safety Committee, Strategic Planning, Process Oversight, and the MUA. Chairperson will be myself. Deputy Chairperson will be Roger Silva. Public Works, Street Lighting, Garbage, Trash, and Recycling. Chairperson will be Roger Silva. Deputy Chairperson will be John Kurtz. Public Safety, Police, Municipal Court, Emergency Management, Fire and Rescue, Animal Control. Chairperson John Kurtz. Deputy Chairperson Art Schenker. Planning and Zoning, Community Development, Planning, Green Team, Historic Preservation Commission, Zoning, Construction and Code Enforcement, Industrial Commission. Chairperson Rodney Gashard, Deputy Chairperson Judy Link. Special Events, Veterans Advisory Board, Special Events, Hometown Celebration, 9/11 ceremonies, Halloween Parade, Tree Lighting Ceremonies, PWA MIA Day, Veterans Day. Chairperson Judy Link, Deputy Chairperson Rodney Gashard. 21, designation of holidays for full-time salaried employees for 2019. Please don't make me read these all. Can we just have a motion to accept them?
So moved.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Gashard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Designation of depositories for the township funds for 2019. Wells Fargo Bank, Ocean First Bank, PNC Bank, Bank of America, National Bank, and TD Bank.
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gashard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Designation for official newspaper municipal legal advertising for 2019. Atlantic County Record, Hamilton News, Camden Courier Post, Press of Atlantic City, Vineland Daily Journal, Mainland Journal, Newark Star Ledger.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, Rita?
Mr. Gashard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes. 24, establish regular township committee meeting dates and times as listed below.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, we have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Gashard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
25, certification of memberships for the year of 2019. Can I group these together, Mr. Solicitor? Thank you. I'll just read them off real quickly, and we can vote on all of them at one time. Is there an objection that I group these together?
No.
There.
Thank you. Atlantic County League of Municipalities, 5 members. Atlantic County Mayors Association, 1 member. Atlantic County Association of Township Officials, 5 members. Atlantic County Mainland Chamber of Commerce, 1 member.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gashard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Okay, we're going to move on to comments by the chairperson and committee members. Judy, would you like to start?
Well, yes, I would. I think this year has been, fairly good. I'm still hoping that at one time we will have a senior citizens center restored from 2008. We have not had one. We've done a lot of other things, but we have not restored that facility, which I think is very important for our senior citizens. I wish we would have also more of a bipartisan appointment to some of these appointments that we did today. We only missed by 14 votes. Only 14 votes. That means that all the other people voted, for Rodney and our candidate. It is, to me, it's just a little bit discouraging when every year we miss by 8 votes, we miss by 10 votes, and yet we don't really have any input as far as who is appointed to the planning board, the zoning board, and so on. I know that's the way it is, but I know when the Democrats were in before 2008, they did have Republicans in there. In fact, they had Bill Mangels in there. They had a lot of people in there that were not of the same, party. And I wish that we could more or less move towards that entity. Because next year we win again, okay, it'll be just the reverse. We'll just, get rid of all the people who are Republicans and start over with all the Democrats. That's counterproductive. And I, as a person who has been on this committee for a long time, feel as though I would like to see a little more bipartisan relationship here. We get along up here, we work well together, but also in your zoning board, and we have many capable people out there. And it's gone on for a long time, so that's my feeling.
Thank you, Judy. John?
Well, first, I'd like to, for sure, congratulate all those who were reappointed and those new folks that were appointed to positions. It's been a real interesting year. I've enjoyed being up here on committee and look forward to through to the end of my term. I congratulate our mayor on being his appointment.
Thank you, John.
And Roger as deputy mayor. We've had, it looks this year again like we're going to have an excellent job by our tax office and Renee DeSalvo. I don't have the exact numbers, but our collection rate is as well or better than last year, and we'll have those numbers later. But I just wanted to give kudos to the tax office for some fine work. Thank you. And again, we have to look at the staff here in the town hall. We have a remarkable staff from everyone in the administrative offices, our police department, headed by our chief, Stacy Tapner, doing an excellent job, particularly with the number of calls that we receive here in this very large township. But we're looking forward to another good year, and thank you.
Thank you, John. Roger?
Yes, thanks, man. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year to you, your family, your friends, and all the residents of our community. Roddy, I want to congratulate you on making it back. We missed you for those several meetings.
Thank you.
Also congratulate you and Art on your reelection. And I guess, Judy, one point that I can make to you, we may not have a senior citizens meeting hall, but we got 4 senior citizens up here who should be able to do what you asked for. So at that point, the only young guy up here
It's hard.
is you, Art.
Not according to my son. I'll deal with you when I get home.
Since all on committee are well-seasoned, I think we understand our responsibilities. The biggest problem facing our community will always be sustainability, especially since there's never enough money to do everything. We realize that. The more you feed government, the more it needs, the more it wants. One of the downfalls and the disadvantages we have, unlike the federal government, we don't have a printing press. The state has lottery, they have sports betting, they have gasoline tax, and now they're going to have wacky weed, or otherwise cannabis licenses out there. I think they're going at it in a way in which they're just trying to create more tax and opportunities that are going to be the wrong way. They should attack the problems head up front. What they have to do is stop spending. The biggest commitment that we should have in this community is to sustainability. We've gone through a rough period all these last 10 or 12 years, and this is my 12th year on committee. And what we realize is that while we counted on the casino industry to give us all sustained growth, when that fell apart, we forgot all about commercial and industrial development, which has been the focus the last year or two, and it will be the primary focus this year, I believe, Mayor. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
That we have to create commercial and industrial type of businesses here that create sustainable jobs and income so that those jobs and income can support the retail. Otherwise, we're going to lose all of that. So I think at this point, I'm looking forward very positively to good things happening in our commercial market this year. I think a lot of the things that were put in place with the tax abatement and some of the other incentives that we push forward will start to make a difference. But we have to go at this, and every one of you, and we congratulate all the people on boards. You can be salespeople for us too. We have to get after the commercial end of it. We have to convince our people not only to shop local, but to locate their businesses local. So I think we're looking forward to good things this year, and hopefully it'll come about that way with your help. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Roger. Rodney, good to have you back.
Well, thank you. I'd like to second many remarks that were made up here. I'll start with Judy's remarks. I too think it unfortunate that our positions are determined by political affiliation. They really shouldn't be, and we need to try to change that. I agree with much of Roger's comments about the need for business, for attracting business, and about the concern I have anyway about the way our governments raise money. For example, by encouraging gambling and by encouraging drugs like marijuana. That's the wrong way to raise money. That's a real shame, and I think we ought to all try to fight to prevent it. As many of you know, I went through a life-changing experience. On Thanksgiving Eve, I had a heart attack, and on 6 days later, I had a stroke. Now, for a guy who has over 100,000 miles on a bicycle, who never took any drugs, no prescriptions, who had all kinds of supplements and prided myself in health, that was quite a shock. But I will tell you this. It's an experience that certainly has opened me up, certainly made me aware of, that part of the population that has disabilities and the caretakers that have to provide for these people. I think I can now represent that part better. I spent my time at Mainland and at the Bacharach Rehabilitation Center, and let me tell you, both of those are very fine institutions. Bacharach is a non-profit organization, and as I was over there, I got really loving care from many of the nurses and nurses' aides and the professionals. It's interesting that in the nurse and nurses' aides, I would say it's probably 80 or 90% foreign-born. We have people from Africa, from Latin America, from Asia, all over. And yet they work together well, and they provide a tremendous service. I couldn't imagine how we'd be without those immigrants. We should all be glad they're here and glad for what they're doing for us. They're making this a better place. I was also surprised to find out how many Mays Landing people were involved in that center as patients and as staff. It was almost like a small community. I met so many people there from Mays Landing. It's a facility I think we can be very proud of, and we should try to take advantage of it. And by the way, many of the therapists are trained at Stockton. So it is really a local affair, a local institution. At any time I wanted to start feeling bad for myself, all I had to do was look around and see so many people out there who have conditions that are far worse than mine and who are maintaining a positive attitude. They're really heroes in many respects. I remember one fellow in particular who was crushed between an earth mover or a construction truck and a solid object. He had his pelvis shattered, and yet he's got a very positive attitude. There are many people like that, and it is amazing. I must say I appreciate the support I got from many of you, and certainly from my wife and family. and from many of you in the audience. Mention John Kurtz in particular. John, many of you know, first of all, had an accident. He was hit by a car, and he recovered very quickly. But he also had another event, and there he recovered very quickly also. He called me and offered his support and offered some ideas, and I really appreciate that. It's very positive and very much appreciated. So I look forward to working with all of you, and after my experience there, it almost seems like a small town. There were so many of you that I met, so many of you who were patients and staff. So I look forward to working with you and trying to make this a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Rodney. In the response to Judy's comments, we take great pride in selecting the people on the boards in this township. And it's not something we do without a lot of study. And I think it shows in the boards that we have, our planning, zoning, and all the other boards, the MUA, Industrial Commission. All of them do an excellent job and represent this township in the finest way possible. So I'm sorry you feel it's all in partisan lines, but I believe that we do a good job of putting these people together that all complement what we need done in this township. Those boards are extension of what this committee wants to see done in this township. Last year, this committee passed some new pilot program laws that are going to help to motivate businesses to come to our retail area. It's a very important move. We created a vehicle for the racetrack to become an area of redevelopment. A very important move to try and get that property to go from an eyesore to something that we all can be proud of. The look of your town is one thing, and it's very important, but also what's really important is that when you have empty properties like that, and you have a racetrack that just sits there and falls down in on itself, there is no tax base there, there is no jobs there. So everything that we're doing now and in the future is based on those two things, building your tax base and putting our people to work. So our attention this year, not that we're going to forget what we did last year, is now turned to our industrial park, like Roger said. We need to see some movement in there. We need to start looking at it in a different way, maybe change our market strategy. It's also we've made some inroads, and we've had some conversation with the people who own the mill. That property is not going to sit any longer the way it is. We are going to do something about it, and we're going to start doing it this year. One of the things that I've heard in the 3 years that I've sat on Township Committee is that these things are never addressed, that the Main Street never gets any better. Well, that's going to stop now. We're going to do some things that are going to make it possible to bring businesses in, create a Main Street, create a theme, get this thing moving, get it off the ground, and get it moving forward. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to happen in a year? No. But if we don't start, it's never going to happen. So with the help of our attorneys and our administrator and our community developer, whoever he or she may be, and by the way, I don't know if Phil's here. Phil, thank you very much for all your hard work throughout the years. I know you're leaving us this year, and it's going to be hard to find somebody to replace you, but we're going to do the best we can, and the person that comes in is going to be given that task to get out there and find the people and get the people in here to make this town better. We've let these things be the way they are for way too long, and we're going to work very hard to make this change happen. So I look forward to working with the four of you on that very specific job, and I think that we all feel the same way about how we feel about this town. So thank you very much. I would like to call for a short recess so that we can take pictures. I'm sure my wife wants to do about 6 or 7 selfies with me, so we'll get that over with. So we'll take about 5 minutes, and then we'll reconvene. Do I need to adjourn, or are we good? All right? Thank you. Thank you. First of all, thank you for all you who have stayed. Additions and deletions of late agenda items to be considered for action tonight. I don't believe we had any.
No.
Thank you. A lot of excitement here tonight. Number 2, early public comment on the agenda items excluding items listed for public hearings. Nobody signed up? Thank you. Discussions, no formal action will be taken. We have no discussions tonight. Number 4, introduction of ordinances, public hearing to be held January 22nd, 2019. A, ordinance 1891, 2019, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limits and to establish a cap bank. Mike, would you like to give a brief so everybody understands that?
Yes, this ordinance, we do this one every year. It allows us to spend surplus funds over and above last year's budget. In other words, if we have enough surplus, it goes from 2.5% to 3.5%.
Okay.
Gives us a little flexibility.
All right, very good.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
Yes, and carried.
B, ordinance 1892, 2019, an ordinance authorizing the sale of Lot 12 in Block 24 as shown on the tax map of the Township of Hamilton, and granting the owner or owners of said real property contiguous to the same right of prior refusal to purchase such land in the Township of Hamilton. Mike?
Yes, sir, Mayor. This is a parcel of property. It's 4.86 acres. It's off of Poplar Avenue. The zoning is RD-5, and the minimum bid would be $3,402.
I'll move that ordinance.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to move the ordinance. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
5, awards of bids, contracts. A, resolution to award contract to Professional Property Appraisers Incorporated for residential inspection and measurement services for 2019, and authorize mayor, township clerk, and assessor to execute the agreement on behalf of the township.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions?
Yes. Michael, this is just for new stuff or just,
It's for both. We use this firm for over 20 years. We spend about $5,000 to $6,000 a year with them. We spent $7,000 last year. Was a lot.
okay, this is nothing like a reval or nothing like that. This
No,
is
no,
just,
it's not the reval.
Okay.
No.
I'm all right with that, Mayor.
Okay, we have any more questions? Rita, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
B, resolution authorizing an agreement with the Phoenix Advisors LLC of Bordentown, New Jersey to act as a continuing disclosure agent to the township for required scheduled filings for the current year ending 12/31/19, not to exceed $1,500, and authorize the chief financial officer to sign same.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Are there any questions? No questions. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Thank you. C, resolution authorizing the extension of bid 2016-11 to provide property maintenance, mowing, and other specialized landscaping services to Green Trees Landscaping and Construction Company on a month-to-month basis as needed.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Are there any questions? Seeing no questions, Rita, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
D, resolution to approve change order number 2, final Lake Lenape Track Hockey Court reconstruction, bid number 2017-05, a decrease of $20,455.59.
All day long on that one.
Second, decreases are good.
Second twice. Any questions? Rita, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes,
All yes and carried.
thank you. Consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve items A through S.
There's T.
T.
Oh, is there T on there too?
Yes.
A through T, yes.
Yes.
Seconded.
We have a motion to carry A through T. Are there any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, the ayes have it. Number 7, personnel. A resolution appointing Rena Martino, Township Clerk, as Municipal Improvement Search Officer for the year of 2019.
Second.
Second.
A motion and a second. Need a roll call for that, Bob, or can we just move it?
You know what?
Does it involve money?
Pardon me?
Is there
No money,
involved?
just people. All right. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. What is that? Municipal Improvement Search Officer?
In some towns, not in ours, they pass an ordinance for municipal improvements, maybe something like sidewalks. And instead of it being charged to the whole tax base, it's just charged to the residents that benefit from it. So if there's a sale that goes through, that's checked and that's disclosed at settlement. So basically in our town, there's not a lot of work here because we don't have anything like this, but you still have to name somebody.
Somebody we have to have.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Any more questions?
Nope.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? The ayes have it. C, resolution appointing Arthur Train as a temporary full-time employee assigned as a Class 2 Special Law Enforcement Officer for the Police Department at the rate of $20.57, effective immediately. That would be an hour, I would assume.
Yes.
Yes. So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
You're right. Thank God you're there. Roll call, Rita?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
Can we go back up to B, please?
We can. We skipped it?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Can you tell I want to get out of here? B, resolution appointing Renee DeSalvio, tax collector, as municipal tax search officer for the year 2019.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those, any questions?
Yes, is that similar to the Improvement Search Officer?
Normally it happens when the records go to settlement. We check for any taxes that are delinquent, if there are any liens, any water sewer delinquencies I have to check for. Also, any departments on the construction department.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. Renee, my apologies, I didn't mean to skip you. D, authorization to advertise and test for the position of a full-time police officer.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Seeing there's no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, the ayes have it. Number 8, approvals. Minutes of December 17, 2018, regular meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying,
Abstain. I abstain. yeah.
okay, sorry. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, so that's 4 and 1 abstention. Thank you, Rodney. B, payrolls and bills list total $767,070.37.
So moved.
Second.
Can he can? Okay. Second.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? No questions. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker.
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Number 9, we go to the reports. Mr. Administrator.
Yes, just one item. I just want to remind committee that in your mailboxes Mary has placed the blue binder for the interviews that are Wednesday and Thursday, so if you want to pick them up, you can go through the questions and stuff ahead of time.
Great,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Mike.
That's all, Mayor.
Mr. Solicitor.
I'd just like to say thank you to showing the confidence in me and my law firm and reappointing me for another year.
Thank you. Good to have you back. Mr. Engineer.
Yeah, Mayor and Committee, I have a short report. The first item in my report is the 2018 road program. I've been in contact with Lambert Construction. There hasn't been any activity in the past two and a half weeks, but they're starting up again this week. They're going to start by doing concrete curbing on Pennington as early as this Friday or Monday. They're doing some survey work out there now. So what we're going to see is the concrete work on Pennington, both sides of Pennington. I don't believe we're going to see asphalt this year. We're not going to see asphalt till the spring is what they're saying to me. The next item on my list is Tavistock. I spoke to Arawak, who is now under contract with the Tavistock paving project. Their asphalt plant is closed. They are not able to complete the project this year. Not this year, this winter. I called Lou DeChico and explained that to Lou DeChico, and he's okay with. He was very pleased that I just contacted him and gave him an update. But the contract is due to a completion date of the contract is May 1st. So Arawak will be starting work in the month of March out there. So Lou was pleased with that we kept in with the communication. We talked about maybe doing the fencing out there, and I talked to Arawak and I talked to Lou, and we think it's best to wait until March or April to do the fencing around the 5 basins. We think we'll get a little better product. So, we'll keep that project moving the best we can, but we shouldn't see any activity out there until sometime in March. The construction projects that are ongoing, we had the ribbon cutting ceremony over at Buffalo Pike for Sleep Center on December 20th, and along with that ribbon cutting, we also opened up Renaissance Drive on December 20th. So cars can now travel from Volunteer Way on Renaissance Drive and get out to the Black Horse Pike. So I'm starting to see a little bit more activity out there.
Yeah, more traffic there. It's being used.
It's good. Hopefully it'll work as designed. Outback Steakhouse is progressing, not as fast as we would like, but they're out there working on their project. Artist Walk is in phase 5 and 6 of an 8-phase project. They seem to be selling houses on a pretty steady basis. As a matter of fact, we performed 5 certificate of occupancy site inspections over the last 3 weeks, so they're moving along pretty well. 2 other projects that I want to talk about that aren't on my schedule. The first is the I call it the Verizon manhole. On Main Street at Linwood Avenue, there's a manhole that continues to seep and weep, and water's running down in front of Guy Tunney's property. I can't tell you how many emails and phone messages I left for Verizon. Just last week, I finally made a little bit of progress. Apparently, Verizon's had some sort of buyout for any employees that have been there more than 20 years. So there's some sort of buyout that they offered back in November. So a lot of employees have left Verizon, but I finally got to the right person, and they were out last week and did an inspection. Somebody's coming tomorrow. I talked to Sue Marks and Ted Marks in the audience here tonight, and I have their cell numbers, and I'm going to be communicating with them. So this is my priority right now, is to get that manhole taken care of. I talk to Brett about it often, and we're going to get that manhole somehow resolved pretty quickly. We're coming up to the time of year where we've got freezing weather, we have water running down the gutter. That's my priority right now, to take care of that.
Steve, where's that water coming from? Where are they, because that was an electrical fittings and things in there.
Verizon's been telling us, we had the same problem in the spring, and Verizon went in there and they did some kind of sealant on their, they say there's duct work in there. And they corrected the problem in the spring, but it started up again in November. Ted Marks tells me he knows what the problem is. When they did some drainage work out there last winter, when they reconstructed that road, he wants to show me where he thinks a storm inlet has come into contact with this Verizon ductwork. So I welcome the chance to meet with them, and we will be in contact tomorrow morning, and we're going to solve this.
I don't want to cut you off. Can I just bring up something to the board? or is this inappropriate? Can I just say something?
At this point in time, yes. If you want to speak during public comment, that's not a problem.
Yeah, it's just that, it's just an emergency. I've been calling it into the police department. Every time there's black ice, it goes to a whole block.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stress it enough.
Okay.
We will solve it.
Okay?
We will solve it.
Yeah, but it's the emergency right now of the fact that it's going to exist in the next couple of nights here. There's going to be a sheet of black ice. I've been watching this and I'm calling it in.
Stacy, can we make sure that we keep an eye on that, please? Thank you.
And I
I
told,
appreciate that. I really do. I didn't mean to.
no.
That's okay. We don't want, listen, we've been battling this problem for a little while now, and it's, it's kind of out of our hands, so to speak. Anything else, Steve?
The last thing, the municipal chiller, I've been in contact with Gaudelli Brothers, and that arrival date of that chiller is March 25th. They're telling me about 2 weeks to put that chiller, up and running, so we should have air conditioning come warm weather in the spring and summer.
Okay.
Steve, are we satisfied with Outback with the generator?
We are. I've taken a look at it. I know it's got a little bit of a dip in it.
Belly.
I'll continue to take a look at it. We have a guarantee on that, so I'll continue to take a look at that.
Okay.
Thank
Very good. We'll move, you're all done?
I am done.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Township Committee, Judy?
I have a question. Have you seen a lot of people at the sleep store? Has there been a lot of activity there? Do you know?
Not a whole lot, just one or two cars whenever I go by or I'm out that way. They're pretty excited. Their products are reasonably priced. I was pleasantly surprised that I thought their products would be out of price range, but I think once they get the word out.
Did you tell her you tried it out?
They put you on a computer, you lay on a bed, and the computer, it's an overhead screen, and my number is 35. So
Me too.
they tell you where your contours are, and it's very
Sleep number.
scientific, and it's pretty exciting. And if I need a mattress, that's where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Okay. The other question is, what's going in the other store?
Well, Starbucks is going to open up. They've been telling me late February, but that could slip till the very beginning of March. We don't know what's going to go in the center. They haven't told us that they know who's going in the next pad site, but they haven't told us that yet either. So, as soon as I know something, I will tell everyone.
All right, Judy, anything else?
One thing that I've noticed that floored me was the the VFW sign that just went in. It just totally changes the whole atmosphere of the VFW. I do like it, but I'm not sure. Is it legal? Is it? I mean, if that was my skating rink right there, could I have done that sign?
No.
So it is a legal sign. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives me something that I might look into in the future, because I didn't think that movement of sign, because I've been studying the sign ordinance, but we never really went about passing the sign ordinance, have we? This is
There is a sign ordinance.
there is a sign ordinance, but it was being redone or whatever, and I don't know. I haven't seen it in the most recent.
It's still a work in progress. There's things that might be changed again. Vince Palestina was working on it.
Okay, that's my point. So, but that type of sign in our downtown Mays Landing area, I'm not sure if that would be historically correct, but it would create a lot of excitement. So let's work on things that are exciting in the downtown Mays Landing, get it really going, and that's all I can say.
Okay, John?
A couple things. First, I'd really like to, again, put out the word to our Public Works Department for the excellent job their staff did on decorating the park at Main Street. As you come into town, what a beautiful sight. There's very few towns that take the time to do something that nice in the middle of town. They did a great job, and you can see people stopping and hear doors slamming. I live there. So I call it my front yard, as well as John Ash at the church calls that his front yard. But you hear vehicles late in the morning, at night, where they stop as they go through the area and take pictures of that park. So Public Works did an excellent job this year. They're slowly changing over to LED, everything over to LED lights, so it's more cost effective and lasts longer without replacing the bulbs too much. So again, they did a great job. Also, earlier in the audience, I seen Dan Snodgrass and Mike Dougherty, who are the new president and vice president of the Merchants Association. I was hoping they would stay so we could introduce, but I don't see them here now. They're very interested in working with the committee on projects and things coming up in the future, and list their goals of what the Merchants Association, which has changed a little bit in their goals, and they would like to discuss that with the township. So at some point they're either going to come before us, but I'm sure that it's a great connection, the Merchants Association and the township, to bring some things before our town and events that have been really cherished over the past years. So I didn't want to not say that. And that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, John. Roger?
55,400 calls this year, right, Chief? Police Department?
Huge.
You know, we wonder where all the traffic comes from, and we have to stop and take a moment to realize the work of our first responders, our police, our fire department. And I think we realized that with the funeral last week for that young woman, Natalie Dempsey, who in the performance of her duty, she suffered the worst thing that could happen to anybody. I don't think anybody stops and thinks that every time the first aid trucks are going out, or the fire department, or even the police to a scene, that it exists. And you know, their sole motive of being in the line of work that they're in is to protect your life and property. And I think we have to always take a moment and be thankful for who they are and what they do. And I know this past season it was very busy in this area over the Christmas holidays. It could be just one of those things. I don't know how they put up with all of that, because the public is very difficult to deal with. So kudos to all of them, and I think I'm thankful for who they are and what they do. Thank you.
Rodney?
Yeah, I'd just like to second the comments by John and Roger. The park was beautiful. They did an excellent job on that. And it is the pride of the community, one of our prides. I'd like to also, when I was in the Bacharach facility, we had entertainment by a group I didn't know existed. It's a community, a Hamilton Township community band. How many people know about that?
Yep.
Oh, there are some. Okay, yeah, they did a great job. And the residents certainly appreciated it. So, other than that, I've already made comments. I'll let it go with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Rodney. I'm going to be as brief as possible, but I cannot leave here tonight without making a comment about last weekend's funeral services for Natalie Dempsey. Our fire departments did a great job, especially MISBA, dealing with that tragedy. They held their heads high. They made us proud, and it was just an unbelievable sight. The whole thing. You really had to see it to see what those firemen do when they put someone to rest under full honors. It's unbelievable. Really is. A loss for this township, loss of a beautiful person, and just really proud and honored to be there to represent the whole township during that ceremony. I just want to take a minute to thank Senator Chris Brown, Assemblyman Vince Mazzio, Freeholder John Risley, who's still here, Freeholder Amy Gatto, who was here earlier, Freeholder Karen Fitzpatrick, and Summers Point Councilman James Toto, who's still here, and I want to thank all of them for coming. This is a big night for our town, and having them here makes it that much more important, so thank you very much for all of you for coming. That's all I have to say, other than I wish all of us, a Happy New Year. We got a lot of work to do, and it starts now. I'm going to open the floor to public comment. Anybody from the public like to speak? Yes, sir.
Ed Marks.
Yep.
I'm just going to reiterate, I know, I just wanted to make sure that understand it. What happened is with this water problem, and hopefully it gets fixed tomorrow, or comes out and solves the problem, situation is that the cars are splashing through it, and you've seen it. Then they drag up that thin film of water
Yeah.
all the way up to the library. It's sheer ice, and you don't know, and it's in the intersection too. I have nightmares about this.
Yep.
So I just wanted to say, if in the event that it can't be fixed before the next freeze, we're gonna have 3 nights that it goes down below 20, or 24, I think, in the mid-20s. It's gonna be black ice. Is there something that, as a group, we can be proactive on this? Either a signage out there saying black ice, because we know it's gonna be there, or salt that can be put down. I just want to.
Brett, can we take a look at that?
More of an emergency.
The next couple nights is supposed to be really cold, and I think it may become an issue, like he's saying. Okay? Thank you, Brett. Thank you for your comments. Mr. Solicitor.
I just had to stand and tell everybody who may not be here tonight that's watching this, what a loss we have in the death of Bill Mangles. If there's anything we can agree on every side of the aisle, is that this man was the epitome of a gentleman. He was the epitome of what is a class act. A war hero who served on the USS Missouri, moved to our town, became involved, and everything he did with dignity. God bless Bill Mangles.
Thank you.
Amen.
I met Bill Mangles when I first moved to Hamilton Township, and I was living over at Hamilton Green while I was building my house. And you know, you're living in a condominium complex, and here comes this guy. Hi, I'm Bill Mangles, and I'm running for office. I was floored. I didn't know who he was, what party he was from, but from the minute I met him, I was sold that this guy's got something going on, and just a class act, and a really great guy, and he'll be sorely missed. Anybody else in the public like to speak?
Move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion for adjournment is in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.